Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Arrows Up podcast. This is German coming to you on this Wednesday edition of the pod. I have David here with me, and we have a lot of boxing to get to, a lot of fighting, a lot of stuff going on. But David, you just finished playing at a festival, and so I'm glad that you were able to make some time for it. During the world.
Oh gosh. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. Appreciate it.
How did that
It was cool, man. It was a festival called Shebang. I think next May, when they have it next May, it'll be like their 10th year doing it.
go? Nice.
It was started by a group of like Cal Poly students up here in San Luis Obispo that they had like I think like a band play somewhere and people met up, and then like the next year they had a few more bands and it just kind of catapulted itself a little bit. But yeah, so it's grown and they've changed locations and stuff. And this year they brought the headliner bands were one was called Hippocampus, which people might know Hippocampus if they're hip to them. A group called Men I Trust. They're pretty popular right now. They've been on like Jimmy Fallon and stuff like that. They're really cool. And they had like also like some DJs. They had these guys. I'm not really hip to the DJ stuff, but Bob Moses, Hayden James. So they had some bigger names up there. But yeah, super cool. Got to play some music, and interact with other artists, and people just enjoying the music. So it was a good time, and the weather was super nice because it was for a while we thought it was gonna rain that weekend a little bit. But I'm just glad it wasn't hot. I just hate when it's hot because we had to walk around a lot and to check out the different stages and different like booths they had and stuff like that. But yeah, super great time. Shout out to Shebang, super fun time.
So how does somebody? So do they reach out to you?
Yeah, so because the festival started in San Luis and we're a local band, they do have local bands play. They had a few of us out there. And this year what they did too is they had because some of the other people that work now for the team, they're based out of other cities that have like major colleges in them. So they have people from Santa Barbara, I think Santa Cruz, San Diego, Berkeley. And so this year what they did is they had each little city had a battle of the bands competition. So they had 4 or 5 local bands from those cities. And then the winner would get added to the lineup for Shebang. But we were one of the bands that was chosen right off the bat. So when they released the poster for it with all the names, we were already on there. And then a few other local bands from San Luis Obispo too were added because they won a battle of the bands competition. So yeah, so we've been, and my group's it's like relatively young. We've only been together as a group for about 2 years now.
Yeah.
But we've been making a few waves here, if I do say so myself. And so they reached out to us in December. And so we played, the festival was in May. So yeah, but they reached out to us, sent us details and stuff like that. So
Okay. Oh, that's awesome. So
mhm.
that's sick. So
Yeah.
and this is what every May.
Yeah, so far, yeah. They did miss obviously I think 2020 because of the pandemic, and I think even 2021 because things weren't as open yet.
Mm,
But yeah, they had one for 2022 and then this year, and then before that going back to 2014, I believe.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's sick. That's sick. Super.
Yeah.
That's super. That has to be super exciting since that's you're in that realm and you're kind of chasing that. For a door to open like that, has to be like almost surreal, right? Like when you get on the
Oh yeah.
stage and you're like, "Oh man, it's our turn. This is
Yeah, no,
us."
for sure. For sure. Yeah. Yeah, like I told you earlier, like people were coming up to us. We played on Saturday, but we were there on Friday too, just walking around, enjoying the festival, and people were coming up to us and being like, "Oh, I've seen you here in town, and I've seen you there, and blah blah blah." Or, my friends told me about you, blah blah. So it was kind of cool. Like I was in line to get food, because they had like food trucks there. So I was in line,
Right.
and like the person in front of me, like, "Hey, aren't you in that one group or blah blah?" And so, or they would recognize us like from the local like dive like college bars in
Right.
town. They'd be
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I've seen you guys play there, super cool." So and then if they by chance if they didn't know we were playing at the festival, we tell them, "Oh, you're in luck. We're gonna be like at this stage tomorrow, so come check us out again." So
Dang.
yeah,
That's sick. That's super awesome.
yeah.
But we have a lot of boxing to get to. A lot of
Oh, wow.
boxing.
We do, yeah.
A ton. Um and even like your boy Francis Ngannou, he signed.
He signed a deal.
He
Yeah. Oh, we could
died.
we
He
could have that.
did.
Yeah, yeah.
Um so let's start here. We had Rolly Romero fight over the weekend. Rolly versus Ismael Barroso in a fight that was, I think we all thought Rolly was going to go in there, and Barroso's a good journey guy, and he's gonna make it tough. But we ultimately thought Rolly's gonna win, and he's gonna call out Ryan or maybe Tank again. Who knows? And instead, we got a typical PBC BS where Rolly is losing, he gets dropped, and he should have been losing on other cards, and he gets a stoppage, a very questionable stoppage, but a
Oh yeah.
stoppage nonetheless. And he wins, and he calls out. I think he called out Ryan, and and this is where we're at. What'd you think of that fight? I'm not. I don't think you're. I think your reaction is probably as same as mine. It's a PVC um, promotion, so some chicanery was going to happen no matter what. Especially the way the fight was breaking up. But what were your thoughts on that decision and that fight in general?
Oh, dude, that was man. So I watched the fight the next day, but like the day of the fight, um, two people brought it to my attention. So the first one, when I was playing at a winery, but my homie Trevor, shout out to Trevor, he hit me up and he's like, "Dude, Rolly got dropped. He's not looking good." And then he's like, and then he got a weird stoppage. He's like, "Wow," and he was like, they basically just gifted him a belt. Like they just, the ref that stopped the fight. And so I thought, huh, that's interesting. And then get home later that night, caught some of the highlights, and I was like, all right, let's see what happened, see what went down. And then I even saw on Twitter, I saw someone posted the stoppage, and they were like, dude, Rolly wasn't even landing punches when the fight got stopped.
Right.
And so I saw the slow mo, and what threw me for first, I was like, who was the ref? Like who? And when I saw it was Tony Weeks, I was like, that's weird because Tony Weeks is usually like he's a solid ref.
Yeah.
Um, but and plus I think Barroso is like 40, dude. It's like, how could you not get that guy out of there, Rolly? Like you're a
Hmm.
young dude.
Exactly. Yeah.
Um, but let's wind back the clock. Before Rolly fought Tank, he he was like a legend in his own mind, and he
Yes.
he put
Thousand
himself
percent.
up there with the likes of Ryan, the rights of Haney, Tank, those kind of
Hmm.
guys.
Yeah.
It's almost like he was like that secret little honorary fifth like horseman at the 135 division. Um, but once he got knocked out by Tank, and after the fight, he still was telling people like, "Oh, I exposed Tank. Like I was like, dude, this guy's he's a little off. I think he's a little." And this just adds to like his delusions of grandeur. That's what I got after this when he was saying, "Oh, I'm gonna call this guy out." And then my dad told me about the fight the following morning. He's like, "Dude, did you see what they did?" He's like, "That was despicable." He's like, "That's why people don't like boxing sometimes." Blah blah. and they were booing him after the fight, which I'm
Yeah.
like, I mean, I don't blame him for booing him like that, but yeah, man, definitely like I would use the word like fiasco, like PBC and fiasco kind of go together sometimes because it's like, how does that even like who lets this happen, you know?
Yeah.
So
It's just it's one of those things that you see happen in boxing from time to time that it kind of as a boxing fan, it's hard to defend it.
yeah,
It's hard to really say anything after a decision like that because wrong decisions happen a lot, and I think there's a difference between a wrong decision and a robbery, and I think a lot of people get those
oh
confused.
yeah, hmm
Because you can have a wrong decision, but it doesn't mean somebody got robbed. It just means you saw the fight differently than somebody else did. It's why whenever you're scoring a fight, you kind of have to score it from a wide standpoint of I score it 7-5, but I can see somebody scoring it 8-4 or whatever. And typically when there's a wrong scorecard, as long as they got the right guy, that's all that matters.
yeah,
And then you get stuff where it's a complete robbery, where the wrong guy got the fight and for reasons that remain unknown. And this was one of those robberies, just from the standpoint of I didn't, just like your coworker, your friend was telling you, I didn't see anything that Rolly was doing that was warranting a stoppage. There was nothing in his approach and in anything that was going on in that fight that I was like, okay, this is a stoppage that Tony Weeks should make. Because sometimes even refs will do a stoppage. You're like, oh, maybe it was a little too soon. But you can see
right,
the road this was going. And this had none of that. There was
yeah,
no, like, oh, man, he's taking a punishment. Or, oh, you can see Rolly's about to unload on him. It was none of that. And it kind of, it just left you very frustrated um just watching that fight because PBC does this a lot. They do this all the time with their events, and it's just super frustrating to see
yeah,
that
yeah, man.
go that
No,
road.
I hear you with the like you said, if you score a fight and you have it 7-5, there are definitely rounds where I'm like, I don't know who won that round, but because of this, I'm gonna give the round to this guy or vice versa.
Right.
So yeah, people definitely throw the word robbery around so much. Um, where if there was a close fight and your guy didn't win, people are so quick to just pull up that robbery card. And it's like, no, man, robbery would be like I always use like Pacquiao and Bradley like the first time they
Oh
fought.
yeah.
I'm like,
Or
dude,
or yeah.
what were you watching? Like,
Yeah.
um, and like even after the fight, if they asked Bradley if he thought he won the fight, and his answer was, "I have to go back and watch it." And it's like even this guy knows he didn't win, So
Hmm.
stuff like that. It's like but yeah, a split decision for this guy or that guy, and people want to pull the robbery card. I'm like, that's not how that works, dude. Like that's just
Yeah.
one ref saw something a little bit different than you did, and those
Right.
rounds are ambiguous. The 3-minute rounds.
Hmm.
If a guy is dominating for 2 minutes of round, but then he gets pieced up in that last minute, it's like, who do you give the round to? Like, what? How do
Yeah.
you score that? So, um, but yeah, like you said, with Rolly, like none of that.
None of that came into
If
play.
anything, the guy went like when they stopped the fight, but also he looked like he was off, like his feet weren't under him because he was just like exhausted and trying to dodge punches. Like it wasn't that
Mm,
he wasn't even getting landed on. Like it wasn't,
yeah.
he just happened to be stumbling around the corner and Rolly
Right.
happened to be swinging in the vicinity. And I guess, I mean, I'm not trying to defend Tony Weeks, but I'm like, from the angle that Tony was like standing, it's like you see Rolly's back and he's swinging, and you see Ismael kind of just like flailing about, and it's like, well, I don't know. You would think he would have better eyes than that to see what Rolly's doing. But
But Tony
I,
Weeks is he's a veteran. He's an
yeah,
experienced uh ref.
yeah,
It just seemed like one of those the fix is in, and once they realize Rolly's not going to be able to take this guy out, any opportunity they were going to use to shut it down, that's what happened.
yeah,
And it just sucks. It sucks for the fans, but more importantly, more so than the fans, it sucks for Barroso,
oh yeah,
who could have had a title, should have
yeah,
had a title,
yeah,
and it sucks for him for all the hard work he put in to be cheated like that. Um, just
yeah, man.
felt really bad for him on Saturday night, just because you never want to see that. You never want the politics of the game to get into it and affect the guys inside the ring, and that's clearly what happened on Saturday. Um, and it was just super frustrating to see that, especially for a guy like Rolly, who's not going to be a big superstar. He's not a big name. It's not like you got to protect him because he's a cash cow. I just didn't understand um, why Rolly was protected like that.
Yeah,
Not that it makes it okay, not that it makes it
yeah,
okay
right,
if
right,
it's a cash cow, but at least you're able to like, okay, it makes sense why they did this. This
right.
I get it. I understand it. I don't agree with it. I don't like it, but it makes sense. I get it. I understand. Um, I think it's time we do Canelo.
Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, yeah. Let's put a pause because I was gonna segue into the stacked division at 140, but let's pause. Let's go to Canelo. Yeah,
No, no, let's do 140. Let's finish the 140.
no, because the 140 thing it goes into like Ryan, and we're gonna do Ryan
Oh,
later.
okay, okay, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
let's do Canelo. Let's do
Okay,
Canelo.
so our boy Canelo fought 2 weeks ago. Um, he got in the ring in Guadalajara. It was a big spectacle. Not nobody does boxing shows like Canelo does. Nobody does entrances like Canelo does, and it was a big show. It was beautiful. The mariachi, the lights, it was all incredible. And Canelo goes in there 168, and he fights John Ryder from the UK. Um, Back in the day, we used to have Pacquiao, who was the Mexican killer. Canelo's becoming the British killer, as
Yeah,
he just likes to beat up on the Brits. And he does easy work of John Ryder. How I've seen it, he John Ryder had no shot. Um, what were your thoughts on the fight?
I'll tell you what, man.
Okay.
Prior to when I okay, so I saw the fight, and then um I had taken a glance at Ryder's like his record and who he had fought and who he had lost to.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, this guy, he's fought like the usual suspects in that division, and he's fought guys that Canelo was beat soundly. And this guy came up short. I'm talking about, Billy Joe Saunders, I think Callum
Mhm.
Smith, even Rocky
Yeah.
Fielding.
Right.
And so I was thinking this was gonna be like Canelo versus Yildirim part two, just like
Oh,
great.
you okay, okay, okay.
I didn't look into the circumstances of how Ryder did in those fights that he lost,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And his reputation, right?
That makes sense.
And
Okay.
so when I saw the fight, of course, the mainstream takeaway, even my guy Trevor, who is a Canelo guy, in me like I don't know if like David Faitelson like got in his ear, but he was like, I don't know, man. He's like Canelo didn't look like himself. He didn't look as fast. I don't know, man. I don't. He's like, I don't know if he beats Bivol, and I don't know if he beats Benavidez. And I was like, bro, you like stop drinking that Kool-Aid. Like get out of
Yeah.
there.
Stop
They're
watching
lying to
ESPN
you.
Deportes.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, man. And but sure, if you look at the fight itself, it's like Ryder was never actually posing any threat. if anything, he just proved that he's probably the most durable British fighter that we've seen. Um, because I think the only guy that's knocked Ryder down is some guy that he fought like 8 years ago. None of the guys that he lost to, like Billy Joe,
Heard him like this. None of
none
them.
of them even got a knockdown. They were like all decisions, I'm pretty sure.
Right. Yes. Yes.
Um, and so I'm like, okay, so this guy's got a chin. He's got, honestly, he and Canelo like cousins in the ring because like their faces even look kind of similar. I was like, bro, like, are you sure you're not, John Alvarez? But anyway, so was it a little disappointing that Canelo didn't get the knockout? Sure, but I mean,
Really?
I was thinking he was gonna knock him out, but then I'm like, sometimes like Canelo says, like you go in there, you fight him, and it's like you're hurting the guy, but it's like it just doesn't always go the way you want, I guess. Um, and so I still think Canelo smokes Benavidez. I don't know about Bivol at 175, and I
I don't
like
like your tone. I don't like your
hold on,
tone.
man. And at this point, I like
Oh no.
because Bivol has said I want three match at 168, and Canelo says
Yeah.
I want a 175. I'm like, this just is this fight even gonna happen? I don't know. We might get Benavidez in September. We might. Bivol might put his foot in the dirt and be like, I'm not fighting Canelo unless it's at 168 for all the belts. And Canelo is in the right to say, you know what? No, I'm gonna go fight this guy. I don't know. Call me crazy. I don't know. What do you think? Am I way off here?
I think you sound like you sound like all the you sound like all the critics that texted me on Saturday night. Um, I saw the fight differently. I went in there thinking, okay, Ryder's gonna be a tougher guy just because not because of his skill set necessarily, but because of his build. He's
Yeah.
more compact.
Yeah. Very
He's
stocky.
just
Yeah.
he's just different. And those guys are harder to drop. They just are
Yeah.
because there isn't the openings that some of these longer limbed dudes
Yeah.
have.
Lanky guys. Yeah. Like the Caleb
And
Plants. Yeah.
yeah, where even though they're covering because they're so long, there's still a lot of space.
To
And
hit. Mm-hmm.
with Ryder, that wasn't the case. And he hadn't been dropped in a long time. So you knew his chin was gonna hold up. And so I thought Canelo fought a wonderful fight because I think whenever you get into a fight versus a fighter like a Ryder, you can get dropped because it reminded me a lot of the Marquez versus Pacquiao fight where when Marquez knocked out Pacquiao
Oh.
and Pacquiao was the better fighter, lighter. He was busting Marquez up. He was rearranging his face for the fourth time. And Pacquiao got too eager, went in, and he got knocked out. And it was one of those fights that I I kept telling I think I told my sister, I told somebody that was watching with me, Canelo's being smart by not going in because he would he would hit him, and they're like, "Come on, go, go, go!" And I'm like, "No, no, no, you don't do that against a injured fighter because he can drop you, he can hit you,
Right.
and you can walk into something." And it was a fight where I saw Canelo use his mind
His ring IQ. Yeah.
and just understanding this is a hurt fighter, and the chances of me getting him out of here are not that high. So I just need to pepper him up. I need to pepper him up and just take what he's given me. He doesn't pose a threat to me. He's not hurting me because Canelo was getting hit, but I think a lot of it was the strategic he's so compact. I need him to hit me so that I can hit him.
Right. So he
Because
opens up a little bit. Yeah.
yeah, because Canelo wasn't hurt by anything. Canelo kept
Yeah.
rocking through those punches. It wasn't like Canelo was being backed off. It wasn't like a Triple G where Canelo was respecting his power. It was none of that. It was very similar to Jacobs, where
Mm.
Canelo understood I'm not gonna knock him out. And so I need to pepper him. I need to get him to throw so that I can be able to land some stuff. And so my takeaway was different, and I understand that I've drank all of the Canelo Kool-Aid, so I'm sure there's like bias in what I'm
Sure.
saying,
Sure. Yeah.
and so I accept that. But this idea that Canelo looked slower, that he wasn't himself, I just thought he adapted to Ryder.
Yeah.
There was no need for Canelo. If Canelo would have done the whole boxing thing and missing and all that, Ryder would have never thrown a punch. If Ryder would have felt like I can't hit him, Ryder just stands there with his hands up. And Canelo, he's in Mexico for the first time in a long time, and he's trying to give the people a show. So
True. True. Yeah.
the last thing he would have needed is a guy who refuses to throw any punches.
Yeah.
And I think that played into the way Canelo fought, because I was laughing hearing Ryder after the fight where he's like, "Oh, I think Canelo's past his prime because he could have knocked me out." And I'm like, "Bro, your nose is leaking
Like a
like an
faucet.
old
Like,
faucet, bro. I
yeah.
can't take you serious. You don't talk to me about the other guy not being in his prime, where your trainers can't figure out how to stop your nose from bleeding out, man."
Yeah. Yeah.
It was just it was so comical to hear all the people talking after, because I just, to me, this fight wasn't about Ryder, it was about Canelo returning home and Canelo wanting to give the people something to cheer about, something to be excited about. And more, I think his mistake was fighting John Ryder, because John Ryder wasn't going to give him the
The big drama show.
opportunity
Yeah. Yeah.
to do that. Where if he takes Plant, if he fights Plant on that Saturday, then everyone comes out, "Oh man, Canelo was amazing. He knocked him out." But everybody was so upset because there was no knockout. But I'm like, man, Canelo peppered this guy really, really good. And he did to John Ryder what none of the other dudes had done to John Ryder. And I just think that was a good performance, especially if he's trying to get into it with Benavides, if he's going to try to get into it with Bivol, two dudes that are bigger and will take a lot to be knocked out. And so I think Canelo, understanding that he needs to be willing to pepper all over the place, is it's what's going to help him in the other fights. I don't want him to fight Bivol. I think he should stay away from 175. Um, I think 168 is a. I don't know why Bivol would even want to do that. I understand the whole belts thing, but I just, to me,
Well,
I think it's a matter of he wants to fight Canelo 168, large in part, and I'm gonna take this to the grave, because I think in a rematch Canelo beats him at 175. And I think Bivol wants to fight him at 168. Canelo
to have
beats
the
him.
excuse.
If Canelo beats him at 168, says, "Well, I beat you in my weight class, you beat me in your weight class, we're even." And I think that's why he wants to fight him at
That makes
168.
sense. Yeah. No, I agree.
Because what is he going to do with all the belts? He's not going to
Yeah.
be fighting at 168.
Yeah.
And I think that's why he wants to fight him there, because I just, I've watched the Bill fight more than I should have been watching it, but and I just think the Canelo on Saturday with two hands, and not just one hand, with two hands,
Oh,
beats Bivol. And I think that's one of the things that wasn't spoke about enough. Canelo had been fighting with one hand for a few fights now.
yeah. Yeah. You said since he fought Plant, I think.
And to fight Bivol, you need both hands. At 175, you need both hands.
Yeah.
and that's what I saw. I saw Canelo. He looked like himself again, which was remember against Bivol. I was like, man, he just looks like he's just golfing too much. He just looks like, oh, he's Canelo the celebrity.
Yeah,
And on that Saturday, he looked like Canelo the boxer again. He just looked like himself. He looked like he was focused on the fight game again, um, which was I was very happy because I was very worried about his focus.
yeah, yeah. Though we were, yeah. The last pod we kind of had a little freak out moment. I was like, Germ, you got in my head, man. What are you doing? Telling me these things. So, yeah.
Do you think we see him in September?
Canelo?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think he's fighting somebody no matter what. I mean,
in
it kind of,
September.
yeah, it kind of feels like now that he's gotten the belts, we're back to the usual Canelo fights twice a year, just Cinco de Mayo, September 16th, wherever those two land. Unless he wants to squeeze in like another little tune up in like December, like he has before, like with like when he fought Fielding after he fought Triple G, I think. Like he just threw that one in because,
Right.
he's like, yeah, let me get this belt real quick off this guy. But I think he's fighting somebody no matter what. And honest, like I'm like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. If the Bivol fight doesn't happen, I think he's gonna give us Benavidez in September.
Do you really think so? I think he makes Benavides wait. I think he fights Benavides next May.
I think that's what happens if he gets the Bivol, if he gets all the terms he wants for Bivol. But if Bivol's difficult, Canelo will just be like, screw this, let me just fight, the next big guy, 168.
And also, Bivol hasn't fought since the Canelo fight,
No, he
right?
fought Surlo
Oh,
for
you're
your
right.
wedding.
You're right. He hasn't fought in 8 months though. He hasn't fought in a long time. That Canelo check is a
Six
really good
six
check.
months, but not 6 months. Yeah, 6 months. 6 months because he
Okay,
fought
but by the
November.
time he fights again, it's
Oh
gonna
yeah, yeah,
be
yeah.
that's crazy. That's wild. I just don't understand the inactivity
Hey man,
by
if
all
if
these
the
guys.
Charlos can do it, Bivol can do it.
The Charlo plan.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
yeah, man.
Um,
They're setting that blueprint out there on holding belts hostages and just running their mouths.
the WBC should be ashamed of themselves.
Yeah.
Um,
Wait, can we take a minute to bash David Feitelson a little bit? Because that dude is just like I, bro. Did you see what he said about Canelo after the fight?
I didn't. I did not.
Okay, let me,
What did he say? What did he
if I
say?
may. Okay, so man, so he was on there with who's that one guy? Is it Bernardo Jimenez, like the other like sports journalist guy?
Mm-hmm.
And then there was an older gentleman. I don't remember the older gentleman's name, but Bernardo Jimenez was kind of worried after the Ryder fight, but he was trying to be like optimistic, but he was like, oh, I don't know if Canelo look the same. Um, and then Fadelson just went all out. He's like, the Canelo we saw tonight doesn't beat Bivol, doesn't beat Benavidez. Um, and then he went on to complain about gosh, who's the guy he mentioned? Ruben Olivares, like another older Mexican fighter.
Yeah.
That he was like, he was saying, and I'm just like, dude, you're like, you need to get drug tested, bro. Um, he was talking about like, the all-time Mexican fighters list, and he's like, Canelo's not even better than Chavez. He's not even better than Ruben Olivares, and this and this and that. And it's like, bro, what are you talking about? Like, what are you basing this on? The guys you're naming, like, had they had a few fights and this and that. But then he finished with this. He said Canelo is the most. He said, es el peleador más sobrevalorado. And
Yeah.
then he said Canelo's una mentira, and I was like, what, dude? Like, why? Like, what do you get out of doing this? Like, I mean, I get like headlines and all that, but like, I don't know, man.
I don't understand.
I'm
When
gonna go ahead and say it. Mexicans don't deserve Canelo. Like they're just like super disrespectful, ungrateful. Like they're the worst, man. They're the worst.
I deserve Canelo.
No, no, yeah,
Um,
you know what I mean. Like we do,
yeah,
but like the
I
ones
know what
like,
you mean. Yeah.
yeah, man. Like they complain, and people are gonna get pissed no matter what. Like people are pissed about the Ryder fight going 12 rounds, but can you imagine how pissed people would have been if he knocked them out in like 2 or 3 rounds?
No, and that's my point. My point
That's what I'm saying.
is
Like it's like damn if you do, damn if you don't. They're gonna get pissed no matter what. And it's
it's
like,
but it was the same thing with Bivol. When the Bivol fight got announced, I have text messages from people telling me, "Oh, here we go, another bum. Oh, there you go, cherry picking again. Oh, he picked another guy off the street." And I'm talking about you, Harry. Like,
oh, who?
and it's one of those things that I'm like, okay, well, and then when Canelo loses, I was like, oh, you see, Canelo, man, that guy, he's not even good enough. Bibble's a beast, and now all of a sudden, Bibble's a beast. And
Oh,
I'm like, okay, well, which you can't have it both ways.
yeah, yeah,
It can't be both. It can't be that
yeah.
he cherry picks and now he's a beast. It has to be one of it happened with the Lakers, for example. The Lakers beat Golden State, and before Golden State, it was like, oh well, Golden State's super good, and the Lakers beat Golden State. Wow, Golden State wasn't that good.
They
Well,
had all these problems. Yeah,
which
yeah,
well,
yeah,
which one is it? Is it
yeah, yeah.
were they really good or did they suck? Which one is it? Can we pick one,
Make
please?
up your minds. Yeah, yeah.
And so I just think it's one of those that I don't understand the need for Mexicans to act that way, to talk that way. Um I was thinking about this. It's funny you bring this up because I was thinking about this when I saw Usyk fight Joshua the last time.
Right.
And Usyk is a superstar in Ukraine. And I saw this same thing when Kambosos won the title. And everyone in Australia was like, oh my God, like this guy's a national hero.
Yeah.
And I remember watching those two fights and I remember thinking, like, man, if Canelo was American, British, any other nationality, he'd be the biggest athlete in that
He'd be.
country.
Yeah, yeah, man.
Like easily the biggest athlete in that country. Because he would represent that country. Everybody would be proud. Everybody would be like, man, that's our dude no matter what. And it's so rare for Mexicans to have an athlete shine at this level, on the level of like a world class where everyone regards them as the
The
greats
best. Yeah,
at the time, the best at the time. He's the great one
yeah.
right now. Because we don't have that in box. We don't have that in football. We don't have that in soccer, baseball, none of that. And I also thought about this during the World Baseball Classic and all the love that Randy Rosarena was getting. And no disrespect to Randy Rosarena, shout out to him, the whole thing.
Yeah,
But Randy Rosarena is a Cuban
yeah,
guy. He
yeah,
defected to Mexico.
yeah.
His daughter is Mexican, and he pleaded to become Mexican so he can represent Mexico because he was thankful. And Mexicans are like ready to like make a statues of this guy everywhere. And Canelo, who all he's ever done is wanting to represent Mexico. That's all he's ever done.
And to succeed, like, yeah,
That's all. He didn't pull the he didn't use the Mexican colors to get to to get money. He didn't use the Mexican colors to get fans like Oscar De La Hoya. He didn't use the Mexican colors to advance his career like Triple G. He didn't do any of that. He used the Mexican colors because that's where he's from and he's proud of it. And all he wants to, he's like Kanye with Chicago. He just wants to lift Mexico up. And all Mexico's really ever done is just dump on the guy. And I just don't get it. I don't
Dude, I
understand.
hate it. I hate it, man.
I don't understand why he isn't the greatest athlete in Mexico right now, the most celebrated. And we have to listen to idiots like Firestone just blast him for no reason. For no reason. And I just don't get it. I don't understand. And it's just it's sad. It's so sad because we don't get this very often. And I think if and it kind of it's kind of indicative of just the culture where
Oh yeah.
we'd rather tear each other down. We'd rather bring each other down than celebrate us. We'd rather we're driven by envy more so than love and support.
Oh yeah.
And it's awful. It's a Canelo's done nothing but good things for Mexico. We even refuses to fight Mexican fighters because of that. Like I just want us to keep winning. I want all of us to eat at this table because he understands if he fights Mungia and all these other Mexican dudes, he clears them out, and now there's nobody else representing Mexico. And it's just this like super sad way that he gets treated by the media, Mexican media, and a lot of the fans.
Yeah,
It's
man.
just so sad.
Dude.
It's the saddest because even a guy like Mayweather, when Mayweather was fighting, he was. I mean, he didn't represent the U.S. the way Mexico Canelo represents Mexico, but he was like loved. He was like everywhere he wanted to be on. That's where he was, and that he doesn't get that same respect, and it's so sad.
Dude. Man. Dude, one of my friends, one of my older friends, I'm not gonna say, I'm not gonna throw him on the bus, but when no, because this goes to what you're saying, man. And it
Right,
like and
right.
he's Mexican. He's from Guadalajara, right? My
Oh
friend.
my god, yeah.
And he's a musician friend of mine. So we
Okay,
met to rehearse. This is right after Canelo fought Triple G for the third time, right?
okay, yeah.
And dude, like we brought up Canelo. I think I brought him up, right? I forgot who. But all he wanted to talk about was what a disappointment the fight was because he didn't knock out Triple G. He's like, oh, the fight was so boring. He delivered a bad fight. And I'm like, have you not watched any of his fights up until this one? Have you not seen what he's done? I'm like, why do we only want to nitpick the things that that prove that you're right about Canelo? And like,
Right.
and then he proceeds to tell me, he's like, oh, bro, people in Guadalajara, they don't rock with Canelo that way. And I'm like, why though? I don't understand. Like, and it's also not one of those things where like, um, you know how I'm sure I don't know, I can't think of any names, but I'm sure there are guys, and you said it, like guys like that. Oh yeah, guys like hell, even like Andy Ruiz, like they want to pull the Mexico card when it
Yeah.
benefits them. Canelo, like he grew up poor in Mexico. Like
Mhm.
he really is that guy for them. Like for
Yeah.
us, he's from the streets.
Well, Pacquiao's story is
Exactly,
pretty much Canelo's
exactly.
story in Mexico. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like, have you guys not seen him talk about selling popsicles on buses as a kid? It's like it doesn't get any more real than that. I was just listening to again Eddie De Nussel talking about on that podcast with Barrera, and he was talking about how he got into training and how he met Saul and this and that. And he said, bro, he said the amateur fighting scene is so bad in Mexico, they all go pro because they're broke, they're so poor. He
Hmm.
says they share gloves, they share trunks to train in. They don't, no one has any money. He's like, so to see that Canelo does come from that background and that we don't support him as like one of our own, it's like what it's like, man, it blows my mind. I don't get it. I don't get, like you said, I don't get it. It's like, why?
Yeah,
You
I
guys
don't
should be like,
I don't understand.
yeah,
I don't understand why that happens. I don't get it. And I just,
yeah.
even if you, I think even from the standpoint of like, because if like Chavez is your guy, that's fine. That's generational. I get it. But that doesn't mean you should blast this guy. You should celebrate him because he's like the guy who took the baton from Chavez. And I think it's I think a lot of it is the envy because you see it with Marquez and all the crap he talks about Canelo.
Oh yeah,
And I love that Eric Morales and Antonio Barrera have always came to the defense of Canelo. Not from the standpoint of Canelo's our boy, he's our guy, but just from the standpoint of like, hey, it's his time now.
yeah.
You had your time and you did your thing and you
Like, we've
weren't
all
as
had our time. Yeah,
and yeah,
yeah.
and you weren't as good. It's his time. And I just think it's so crazy that this attitude towards one of our own where he should be celebrated. He should be we should be so excited. I was watching this this like little clip. There was this clip of uh Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi.
Right.
And when you hear the dudes that play with them on their national team, it's like this like great love and admiration for their guy because that's the guy that represents them. That's the guy that has put their team on the map. That's the guy that represents their flag. And watching like hearing these guys, these like professional athletes who have pride and who get paid a lot of money for them to win. Talk about like, man, I'd like to win this trophy for Messi, or I'd like to win this trophy for Ronaldo. Like it isn't like for me, it isn't like, oh man, I want to win it so people can remember me. It's like, man, he deserves it. I want to win it for him. And it's one of those things I'm like, man, like this should be the love and admiration that we have for Canelo, just as the athlete, Canelo the athlete. This needs to be it because everything he's done for the country. And it just, I don't know. I don't know why it's not there. I don't understand it, and
Dude, it
I don't think I ever will.
yeah, yeah, man. You know what I saw too that pissed me off? And I was like, guys, this is why we can't have nice things. So after the Ryder fight, right?
Yeah,
It's no secret Canelo enjoys like nice expensive brands of clothing,
yeah,
He posted about the Dolce and Gabbana clothes that he had for the fight that they
right,
made for him,
yeah,
right? So he shouted them out. I'm like, hey man, like you're in your bag. If you're showing love to that company, like go ahead, you do you.
right.
And bro, someone in the comments was like, why couldn't you shout out like a Mexican brand? Why can't you shout? And it's like, I hear you. I understand that. Like, sure. And like you said, Canelo already does so much. It's like, God forbid he shows off a brand that isn't Mexican too. It's like, is he not allowed to just like what he likes? Like as far as
But
like clothing goes?
but I don't understand that because Dolce and Gabbana is a sponsor.
But
So
they
I
view
mean,
it but they view it as like him having a sponsor and him showing them love.
people are
It's like
stupid.
you're choosing to fixate on that, but it's like look at all the jobs he created for this last fight.
Not only that, but the same guy or the same person that typed that's probably typing that as they wear Nikes. Like, well,
Yeah,
why don't you wear like whatever? I don't know a Mexican shoe brand, but why don't you wear
yeah,
one of those?
yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like just let him be, bro. Like
That's
It's
gonna
not
be
like
so
Canelo's walking
stupid.
around saying like, I don't want to support Mexico. Like I don't, it's like, dude, he's been telling us he's about it. Like, what more do you need him to do? Like to show you that he's actually about it. I
No,
don't
no,
I
but
don't get it.
he probably cost him some money fighting in Mexico this last time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people are the worst, but I think Canelo's gonna be okay. I think he's gonna be fine. I don't think we. I think we see Benavides in May just because I think that's gonna be a big deal. And if it's a Bivol, I think we see a lesser fight in September.
Another little tune up, another little
Yeah,
like Zach Parker 168 or something like that.
yeah, something like that. Yeah, I don't see. I think if he when he gets Benavides, I think it's he gives them the Cinco de Mayo treatment.
Yeah. Just take care of Boo Boo. Just take out Boo Boo. No, we all know Boo Boo isn't a threat. That's it. That's all I want for now. For now. For now. If
Oh
if he
man.
can't make Bivol happen, and if you want to save Benavides for May, give me Boo Boo. Destroy. He looked terrible in his last fight. I can't even remember the name of the guy he fought, but he fought recently.
Yeah.
Like me and my friend Trevor were sitting around, and I was like, "What is Boo Boo up to these days?" And he's like, "Oh, he just fought recently." And I'm like, "Really? Like no one said anything. No one like you could have like screamed it from the rooftops, and no
Did he
one would
fight
have
in Rhode
responded.
Island again?
I don't know where, man. It was, but yeah,
Oh man.
I'll watch that. Before the Benavides fight. Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think Boo Boo is
Is
his
he like the Rolly of the 160, 168 division? Is he like delusional?
I think Charlo's that.
Yeah.
I think Boo Boo is more like I don't know, he's lesser than that, in my opinion.
Oh, dang.
He's lesser than Rolly. Because Rolly at least fought Tank and there was like a like a roadmap where you could be like, I don't know, he kind of did some good things against Tank.
Oh yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah,
Where Boo Boo has had nothing like that.
yeah.
So yeah, I think he's a lesser version of that. But speaking of Boo Boo, and speaking of Rolly, and speaking of guys that are super disappointing, I think it's time we bring up King Rye,
Oh, an excellent segue. I'm glad you brought that up.
the
Okay,
Rye guy.
excellent. Okay, all righty. Where do we want to start with this? I got a lot to say, man. Some of it might surprise you. I don't know.
The floor is yours.
Okay.
Obviously, hold on. Let me set the table.
Okay. Yeah.
Obviously, he fights Tank April 21st. Um, and I thought his reach was going to be the difference. Um, the first round, he looked okay. And the second round and on, he looked like a guy who had done no training, who had done no scouting report, who understood, who kind of just was told you're fighting Tank today and just had no idea what he was doing. He looked like a guy with no trainer. Spoiler alert: when he signed with Joe Goosen, you and I both said
It's a bad decision.
Joe Goosen used to be a really good trainer. Joe Goosen is not about training anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, the floor is yours.
First off, I want to thank Tank because I bet on him. Yeah, Trevor, my friend Trevor owes me a meal from Popeyes. We bet Popeyes.
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah, so next time we're at the nearest Popeyes. Shout out to the one in San Luis. Trevor's treating me to a meal because Tank knocked this dude out. Tank won. I'm going to say Tank won. He did. Yeah, and you and I texted before the fight, and
Yeah.
um, my brother Sam was giving me a ton of crap, saying, "Dude, how can you root against Ryan?" He tried to pull the like, you're gonna root against like the Mexican guy. I'm like, let's not. Let's pump the brakes. Like Ryan is of Mexican descent. It ends there. Like we're not gonna do
Yeah.
that.
He doesn't speak Spanish.
Yeah, yeah. And he's like, oh, you're gonna and then like even my dad hopped on the bandwagon for that fight, and he's like, no, he's like, we gotta support like the young Latino Hispanic fighters. And I was like, I hear you, but I just don't like the guy. I've said it from the
This
start. I just
this fight was very racial.
it was. Yeah.
Very, very racial. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, boxing is a sport that we always play on that. It's just the way it goes, you know? Because I'm gonna take it back a step. You mentioned Floyd and how Floyd, bro, I'm gonna say it, Black America is behind Floyd. Like they just like most of them, man.
Yeah.
If you go to all the comment sections, and with guys like Pernell Whitaker, Sugar Ray, like they ride for their guys, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
I
so
was the token Mexican guy in the
yeah, exactly. That was you.
Floyd
You were the guy.
Mayweather
You're
bus.
like, it's okay, guys. I'm here for Floyd. You know. So yeah. So going back to that. So my dad was like, "Oh, we gotta support Ryan," and I was like, "That's great. Y'all do what you want. I'm supporting Tank." And we texted, and you told me, you're like, "Oh, I just think Tank's gonna lose because Ryan has the distance, the reach. He's got the speed. He's possibly got the speed on him. They both
Right.
have power, but Ryan's got the speed and the height.
I was just surprised how from the last time we had talked, you hadn't expressed yourself so adamantly against Ryan. So I think I texted you because you had said something about like your tweet. It was a very definite like F Ryan type of tweet, and I was like, whoa, what? And that's what
Me?
I text you.
But before the
I mean,
fight?
you didn't text that, but it was very
Well, yeah,
like
it was in that vein. Yeah.
yeah, and I was like, whoa, what the like I didn't know you felt like that. Like I know I I
Oh no,
understood
I do to an extent. So I'm setting you up. I'm setting you up to an extent. Hold on,
okay,
hold
okay.
on. Okay. So I text you. I'm like, you know what? I'll root against anybody that fights Ryan. Unless it's someone like Delfimo, because I'm like Delfimo either. But
Right.
it's along those lines.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, and even Haney is getting on my nerves with the stuff about Loma that we'll get into later.
Oh my god, same.
But yeah, but so yeah, I was like, I'm riding with Tank, and it just helps out that I don't like Ryan, and I'm riding with Tank. Despite the intangibles, the height, all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I'm gonna say it. If I were to have bet money, I probably would have bet on Ryan because of the intangibles.
Okay.
But my heart is telling me I want Tank to win. I'm hoping he
Gotcha.
wins. Right?
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then the fight happens, and man, when he got dropped in that second round, Sammy was pissed. Sammy was like, "You dumbass, what are you doing? Come on, this and that." And I'm sitting there like, "I told you so." From the get go, I was like, "Dude, look at this, man. I done told y'all that he was gonna not be able to do it, and he's over here getting dropped."
And he got dropped with a shot that all of us who have been watching Ryan said if he doesn't stop this, he's gonna get hit and he's gonna
Yeah,
go down.
yeah.
And it was when he got dropped. Sorry to interrupt you, but
No.
when
Go
he
ahead. Go
got
ahead. Go ahead.
dropped,
Go ahead.
I was like, why did I pick this guy? This guy is an idiot, and his
He
trainer
is.
is an idiot.
Yes.
Like, why did I pick him? I was more mad at myself, thinking like, why I should have known better. I went after Goosen, and I didn't like the selection, but yeah, I was more mad at myself than I was at Ryan Garcia for
Right.
getting
Yeah. Yeah.
picked. So
Yeah.
I'm like,
Okay.
I should have known this. I knew
Yeah.
you were
Yeah.
gonna
Like
get
you've
dropped
seen him
over
fight.
something like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he gets dropped, And okay, before he got dropped, when Ryan was kind of smothering him and trying to be really aggressive, for a
Yeah.
few moments I was like, "Whoa, man, he might just really be able to
Yes.
smother Tank," and just
Yes.
because he's so much bigger than him physically,
Yeah, and you're like, oh man, I guess they did do their homework.
Yeah, because I'm
Yeah,
thinking, man,
yeah,
dude, one little shove and he can toss Tank like into the ropes, and you know,
yeah.
but Ryan, of course, Ryan, disappoints us and shows us that he's not that guy. And yeah, man, once Tank was like, okay, we got to give him his flowers with the ring IQ, man.
Tank
To some degree, it's like
for sure.
to be fighting a guy that does have the reach on you and the height, and for you to be able
Thousand
to
percent.
pick your shots, man,
Yes.
that
Mhm.
break him down. We got to give him some credit, man. I know
Yeah.
he isn't looked at as the guy with the ring IQ, but I
No, he
mean,
definitely showed it in that fight.
yeah. So, and then and then the body shot. Once he finally did knock him down, the body shot, and dude, it was. I'm not gonna lie, it was a great feeling. I felt great. I was ecstatic, dude. I after that, after the fight, I walked over to the fridge. I got a wild cherry Pepsi. I
Right.
popped that sucker open, and Sammy's there, in like metaphorical tears. I told you so, man. This was
Oh
your
my
guy.
god.
You've been riding with him, and I told you, blah blah blah.
This is your king.
Yeah, I'm like, dude. I was like Gladiator. I was like, "Are you not entertained? That was it. That was what you guys wanted. You guys begged for years for this fight, and that was
Oh
what we got."
man.
Um. So yeah, and then okay, this is where like I I started to get not upset, but I did feel I did and do feel bad for Ryan
Okay.
because a lot of people did turn on him after he lost, right?
Yeah.
Um, like bro, my dad went like full 180. I was like, dude, you were rooting for this guy before the fight. You were saying we should support him. And once he lost, my dad was like, nah, man, this guy, he's done. He's not gonna do anything in boxing. And then he got pissed because in the interview, someone mentioned like the Mexican warrior spirit. And of course, Ryan's like, yeah, like, and my dad was like, oh, shut up, don't say that. You're not, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, you guys like you gotta stand by your guy at least, man. I can't respect you if you can't stand by your guy. You know, it's one thing for me to rub it in as a hater, but you gotta at least stand by your guy.
I
And
know
so
Sammy was all excited because he walked out what was it, Oceans?
I don't know if he was excited about that, but I think he was like,
No, he sent a text. He was
oh,
like,
he
"Oh,
did, he did. Oh yeah,
the man of God." He's look at the song selection, and
bro,
I was at the wedding, so I didn't know. So full disclosure, I didn't know what song he came out to
dude,
because I was at the wedding and I had the volume all the way down.
yeah,
So I had no idea what he was walking out to. And like my siblings were watching it, so they were like, "Oh my god, can you believe the song he picked?" And I was like, "What song? What is it?" And then Sammy was like, "Oh, like a man of God with the worship song." And I'm like, "He walked out with a worship song? What?" And it wasn't until after the fight when I checked on Twitter and it was like, "Oh, he walked out to Oceans."
you're like, oh, okay. So what did you think of that? What like let me hear it. What
His walkout?
I thought it was kind of cringe.
Yeah, I mean,
I was like, come on, bro, like you're going to war here, like
yeah, I look, I'm all for I'm all for the whole like faith thing and
for sure, for sure.
I'm all for it. Go for it. Just be genuine. But I can't take you serious if you're dropping F bombs leading up to the fight and then you want to like worship the day
Yeah.
of the fight. I
Shout
can't
out to
take you.
Tyson Fury. Yeah.
I can't take yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I got you there.
I can't take you serious. I can't take you
Yeah.
serious if you're gonna talk like a crazy unbeliever, and then I have to believe that you're like a minister. I'm sorry, I just can't take you serious. So, to me, I'm watching you because you're a fighter, not because you're a Christian. And so, I mean, if you want to walk out to oceans or whatever,
Like, do
what
you?
I mean, that's your decision. But I'm not judging you based on your Christianity. I'm judging you based on your athletic performance in this
Yeah, if you
fight.
get hit, not get hit. Yeah.
It was a lot. It happened a lot. I had a friend in high school during the Tim Tebow era,
Oh,
and my friend was like, "Oh man, like, do you love Tim Tebow?" And I'm like, "No. Why? Why do I need to love Tim Tebow?" He said, "Well, he's Christian and you're Christian. Like, he's super Christian. Like, don't you love Tim Tebow?" And I'm like, "No. He First of all, he doesn't play for my team, and second of all, he's not a good quarterback." He's like, "Yeah, but he's a Christian. Don't you have to support him because he's Christian?" And I was like, "No,
that's not how
what?
that works. Yeah.
Like he gets judged based on his performance on the field.
Yeah, completion percentages,
Like, I'm
interceptions.
sure
Yeah.
if I were to meet him and hang out with him uh, at a coffee shop, or I see him at a conference, I'm sure he's a great guy, and I'm sure, I would hope that he's practicing what he's preaching. But when I'm watching him on Sundays, I'm not like, oh well, let's see how godly he is as he throws this pass. Like, that's
Yeah.
not the case.
It's just, can you make the pass? Like, make the
Yeah, because
pass.
I
Yeah.
was like always super critical of Tebow. Like, oh, this guy sucks. Can't believe it.
Yeah.
Um, and he's like, oh man, like, I can't believe you're not standing up for your boy. Like, he's not my boy. Just
Yeah.
because we have the
He's
same
not my
religion,
boy. Yeah.
that doesn't make him my boy. And with Ryan Garcia, it was the same thing. Like, okay, cool, you want to rep Christians, fine, but you still got to fight Tank, and that's what we're watching here. That's
Yeah.
what we're gonna watch you do. And so that's where my thoughts on his
Yeah.
whole like ring walk or whatever. But you felt bad for him. You started to feel bad for him because everybody was turning on him.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, and I still don't know all the details of what happened, but after the fight, Goosen wasn't at the press conference. Oscar wasn't at the press conference. Bernard Hopkins wasn't there. It was literally him and his dad, and I think one other guy, and I don't know who the third guy was, but it just kind of was a bad look because, like, sure, Tank won the fight, but it's like Floyd was there, Calvin Ford was there, his whole team was there, and I don't know. I would think you, like, stick by your guys, man. Where was Joe? Where was Oscar? That's your promoter, man. Like, I know they haven't had the best relationship, but still, like, where's the support? So yeah, just seeing him up there by himself for that press conference, like with like, the few people that were there, I was like, oh man, I was like, that's rough. I can't imagine what that feels like. I'm just like, and also, just like, I mean, like, the things my dad was saying, where he's like, oh, that's it, he's done, he's not gonna do much. I'm like, I don't know, he might, but he still has the skills. I think, like, he has the potential to be greater. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you ever seen that movie, A Bronx Tale, with Robert De Niro?
Yes.
The saddest thing in life is wasted, like, talent, man, wasted
Right.
potential. And I think, like, this, I hope he doesn't become an example of this. And I hope, bro, get a good trainer, man. Find a good trainer. I don't know who it is. I have ideas, and I've been spitballing, but it's like, I don't know, man. Find someone that can show you how to do this. Maybe not the right way, but a better way than what you've been doing. Joe wasn't the right guy for you, man. And we said it from the get-go. Like, he's not going to show you anything new. I don't know if the solution is to go back to Eddie, or I don't know, go to, I don't know, Robert Garcia. I don't know, maybe Andre Ward's training guys. I don't know, train up Virgil Hunter. I don't know, man. Find someone, but it's like, this dude could be a good fighter, and it's just, I did feel some type of way seeing how this went down. Um, and it was weird. I felt weird. I was like, dang, man, like, you guys, a lot of you guys turned on him on Twitter, all that kind of stuff. I was like, wasn't this your guy? Like, you know? So yeah. Did that surprise you, Term? Did you think I was going to go that route?
Where everybody turns on him?
Where I feel bad for him because of this.
Yeah, I didn't think you're bad for him.
Yeah.
Um, I can see what you're saying, but I think it's a reflection of everything Ryan has done, and I think that's why everyone turning on him isn't a big surprise to me, because we stand by these fighters and these teams, these athletes and sports, um, because we understand there's a possibility that they're going to lose. But what you don't ever want to see is them where you feel like you're getting robbed, where you feel
Yeah. Yeah.
like, oh man, you just didn't want it. And I think that's where I think I'm always very careful to say this, especially with dudes in combat sports, because that's a whole different thing. Um, but I just feel like Ryan Garcia, for before the pandemic, had been yelling that he wanted this Tank fight, that he didn't want anybody else but Tank. That's all he wanted. He went on every single podcast he could and was telling everybody he was going to knock him out in a round. He was going to do easy work of Tank. And I understand that's part of it is this, you're selling a fight and you're trying to get people
Mm-hmm.
excited for it, and I get that. But when for 3 years or so, all you do is cry about how you want this guy, for you to lose the way you did is almost unacceptable. Where I
Uh,
think where I think if he gets dropped cold, at least hey, you went out on your shield, and Tank hits really hard and he caught you. Could happen to anybody.
oh, wait a minute. Pause. Wait. Do you think he gave up? Like because he didn't get up in time? Are you on that train? You can say it. It's okay.
I this is I lean to that train just because of,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
obviously I there's no way for us to ever know how that punch felt, whether it landed flush or not. I just I've seen other guys get hit like right there in the liver, and their reaction is way more exaggerated than Ryan, unless Ryan has like an amazing pain tolerance and he just is able to just keep his face together. But typically it's delayed, and so you saw that it was a delayed reaction. But you're not just like on a knee, like just like waiting for the clock to pass. You're just like unable to get up.
Yeah.
And when they counted him out, he like got up.
Like right after. Like
And you're
right.
just like, okay, so
Yeah.
the
You could have gotten up. Yeah.
the reaction and the way everybody else has explained it is when you get hit in the liver, it hurts. And it's not that you don't want to get up, it's you can't get up. You physically are unable to get up. But you got up as soon as the 10 count happened. And you kind of looked fine, and you looked like you were okay with the result, and you were okay with what happened, and you kind of were just like, I can't figure this guy out. I'm just going to take that route. And I think that's why a lot of people turned on him. I don't think it, because I think it's this idea that this guy created for himself this image that he was going to be, you know, the next Canelo.
The next time. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I just think that there comes with a price, and when you don't live up to it, that comes with a price as well. And I think it's why nobody turned on Pacquiao when he got knocked out by Marquez, because it's not losing that loses you fans, it's how you lose.
Right.
It's why when Brady lost the title to the Giants and he didn't go undefeated, nobody was burning their Brady jerseys and be like, "Oh, this guy sucks. Let's trade him," because he gave it out. He tried his best,
Yeah.
and I think that's a huge like difference in that. Like I remember, for example, I remember it's 2010, 2010,
Ooh.
2010, and I remember this because this is the day where I was out on LeBron James, and I've been out on LeBron James ever since. And I saw him against the Celtics game 6 or whatever, and he just quit. And he wasn't interested. He wasn't playing with passion. His team was about to be eliminated, and he didn't carry that like urgency with him. And LeBron is so good that if you look up the stats for that game, his stats are really good. And if you didn't watch that game, you just look up the stats and say, Jeremy, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Because he had like 25 and 5 or whatever. He had a typical LeBron game. But if you watch that game, you saw a guy that was uninterested, a guy that didn't want to be there anymore, a guy that quit on their team. And after that game, I was like, you know what? I'm out of this guy. And he's gonna be really good and he's a great player and the whole thing. But I just don't like guys like that. And for Ryan, I think that's what happened that Saturday night. And so I can understand why you're like, oh man, that sucks. This is your boy. You got to ride with him. But I think there is the code of I'll ride with you if you're gonna be riding too. And it just felt like Ryan wasn't riding with the fans after that fight, and it seemed normal for me for those to abandon the ship for that reason. And so, although the De La Hoya stuff, that's unforgivable for De La Hoya and for
Bernard and
Bernard
Joe and
for
Joe.
for those guys, yeah, for Joe, for all those guys not to be there, unexcusable, unexcusable. There's no excuse for that. The lawyer went out. Oh, we were getting death threats. Like, shut up. How
They
many
do.
fights
Yeah.
have you been in, bro? Like, how many of these have you been to? Like, this is your guy. This is your supposed like your boy, your main boy, and you're gonna leave him like that. I just thought that was super lame on that end
Yeah, it's pretty trashy.
because you don't do that. You don't build the guy up and then leave him to fend for himself. And I just thought that was, if I'm Ryan, I leave Golden Boy after that because there's no support there.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah.
backbone there. There's nobody who has your back. And Joe Goosen, I mean, Joe Goosen was a fantastic trainer at one point, but he's just not into it like that anymore. And I think Ryan went to the guy who was
A
gonna
yes
let him
man.
was gonna let him do it. Yeah, exactly. Let
Yeah.
him do whatever he wants. And that's where I don't know if Ryan has it in him to want to be great. And boxing is one of these sports that you have to want to be great. Because if not, you're gonna get hurt. You have to I used to say this about Mayweather because people are like, oh man, how do you like Mayweather? Like this guy he's super cocky and he's super this and my response has always been I'm okay with fighters thinking they're all that because you kind of have to think that way to fight.
Yeah, it comes with the territory. Yeah,
If you're gonna go in there and like physically get in a fight with somebody else, you kind of have to psych yourself out to think that you are the baddest dude around. It doesn't make sense for you to walk around like that if you're playing basketball. It doesn't make sense if you walk around thinking that if you're going to play soccer or baseball. You kind of need that in football, but even then it kind of be because it's not a mano a mano type of thing in
right, right.
but combat sports you need to walk around thinking I can beat every single person up in this room. And you have to walk around that way. And it
Yeah,
may rub people the wrong way, but you kind of need that. I just don't think Ryan has that urgency. I just I don't I mean I'm sure we'll see him fight again, but I think it's over.
wow. Oh, okay. I
I
was gonna
think it's
ask you. I was gonna
I
ask
think
you.
it's over. I just I don't see a if Ryan Garcia in 5 years, if in 5 years we're recording a pod, and in that pod we're talking about the greatness of Ryan Garcia, I would be super surprised because I just you either have that or you don't have that. And Ryan Garcia to me is more like Julio Cesar Chavez
June.
Jr.
Oh
than
man.
he is De La Hoya or Tank or any of these other dudes because he just doesn't have that. He doesn't have the it to want to go after it, to want to truly get better. And the interview that you were telling me about before we started recording, um, it kind of that's what came out from the Canelo camp.
Yeah.
That's
Oh yeah.
kind of the sense you get. Like this guy doesn't have it. Like,
Yeah. I didn't want to train. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and so yeah, I think it's kind of over for him.
Okay. Okay. So I mean, I was gonna ask you this question, but you kind of just answered it for me. So you don't think that it's possible that a loss like this sets him on the right path? Like really, really humbles him? I mean, dude, he just, I think there's a possibility, but what worries me is the talk about going to 140. And this is where I was telling my dad, I was like, dude, there's some dogs at 140, man. Like there are some real problems up there. Um, and I was showing him like even guys that aren't necessarily like world class, but they're still tough contenders. And it's like if you don't have your head screwed on right, it's like you know, I mean, you're right. It could be over for him, And the top guys I would think are like, obviously like Delfimo, Josh Taylor,
Yeah,
Jack Catterall, you know. Hell, even Sandor Martin, like that would be a tough fight. Regis, Ramirez. I mean, these are look at all the guys I just named, and I'm like, dude, those are all tough fights. Like
I
those are
just
all, you could lose. Those are all
I
really
just
hard
don't
fights.
know. I don't think the problem is humility. The problem is he doesn't have
The drive.
yeah, he doesn't
Yeah.
have this like the dog in him, He doesn't
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
he just doesn't have it. And you can't I'm a firm believer that you can't teach that. You
Yeah.
can't
No,
give
yeah,
that
yeah.
to somebody. You
I know what you
can't
mean. Yeah. Hmm.
like you either have it or you don't have it and that's it. There's no way to ever get somebody to get it. And I think it's why like when I think back on that fight, I think like, man, I'm so dumb. Like, why did I pick Ryan? even if his intangibles were better, he doesn't have the heart that Tank has. He doesn't have the need to be a great boxer like Tank has. Because for Tank, it's either I'm a great boxer and I make this work, or I'm like in jail or dead. Like, and that's it. Like, there's no other option. There's no
Yeah.
other component to that. For Canelo, I'm either a great boxer or I'm like in the streets
Paletero.
or
I'm a paletero.
yeah, or I'm in the cartel, whatever. I mean, like something.
Yeah.
And I think that's you can't teach that. You can't give that to somebody. And not everybody, and obviously Mayweather had that. Mayweather didn't have the underdog story like that, but Mayweather had that. Mayweather had the need to prove to you, to show you, I am as good as you think I am. I am better than what you think I am. And some guys have it, some guys don't, and I think that's ultimately what that comes down to. And that's why I say it's over, because I think this loss, if anything, was more damaging because I think it confirmed to him what we all thought of him. You're not tough enough. You're not good enough. And I don't know what he would have to do to fix that, because I don't think it's a skills problem only. It's a mental and a heart problem. And I don't know how you fix that.
Yeah.
Because in these championship fights, a lot of the time it's not just about the skills, it becomes about the heart.
Mm-hmm.
And your will to not be dropped, to not be knocked out. And I think that's the big difference. So I think it's over. I think it's over for him.
Dang. You heard it here, folks. You heard it from Germ.
Sorry, Sammy.
Hey, man, I got mine. I got my Popeyes waiting for me. So, yeah.
um, let's do the fight that's coming this weekend. We have Lomo versus Haney. This has been highly anticipated. Devin Haney has been very active in his thoughts and speaking. Um, what are your thoughts heading into this fight into the weekend?
I hope Lomachenko destroys him, dude. Man, no, dude, he's really been pissing me off. And it's also kind of like cringe and like he's making himself look like a clown a little bit because have you seen the clip of them walking where he brings up the whole like dirty fighting? Like,
Yeah,
okay, which doesn't make any sense because it's like one, if you're trying to scare Loma, it's like you do realize like he's a war veteran, like he's about that life with Ukraine, like
right.
like fighting. It's sport to him. It really is sport to him. Um, two, if you're gonna accuse him of like the whole dirty fighting thing, it's like I don't know, man. I mean, none of the refs reprimanded him in those fights when you're claiming what you said he did. That's just the part of boxing. That's why they say protect yourself at all times. If you're like in the clinch, if you're fighting on the inside and the ref hasn't actually put his hands on you to break you up, like you can punch the guy. Yes, find a way to punch him. You know.
Right.
So yeah, I'm like that's just a weak argument. I'm like, come on, man, you have to do better than that if you're gonna try to get in Lomachenko's head. Like, also, it's like I bet he can barely understand what you're saying because Loma's English isn't like super super great, but it's like do you really think you're gonna get in his head about that kind of stuff when it's like he probably doesn't know what you're talking about? Like you're calling it dirty fighting, but like that's actual strategy. Like that is a component, a part of boxing. I don't understand why you think you have this like surefire way to call him out on that. I don't know. So yeah, so that really pissed me off. And I think on the last pod we did, I was somewhat vocal about how, hey, we got to give Haney some props because he's been active. He hasn't looked like super fantastic, but he's been active. He's defended his belts. Um, but yeah, I hope Loma. I hope he wins, man. I hope he puts up a good fight. And I don't know if he will. There's another fight where it's like, the youth is on Haney's side, the reach, the height. But I'm riding with Loma. Loma for the win.
You think he could do it?
I think he can.
Okay. Um, I think Loma is in a difficult spot because I think he is aging and aging quick,
Yeah.
and he doesn't have. He was never known for his power per se. He was always, faster and more athletic. Just could just outland you more than anybody else. And very precise with his punching. I I feel like this fight could be one of those fights where either Lomachenko is gonna figure Haney out real quick and kind of give him a schooling, or Haney's gonna be too fast and too athletic for him. I don't see this fight being close either way. I think it's
Oh,
either gonna be what I'd be really surprised if this fight's a really close fight because I can see either guy
like
implement.
dominating.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
going to be one of those just because of their styles. Their styles don't lend themselves to having a really good fight. And I'm going to lean Haney. I haven't liked what I've seen from Lomo in the last few fights. I just think he's on a different time, in a different turn of his career, and I don't like Haney. I think he's super flawed, but I just think he's young enough to beat an aging Lomachenko.
Germ, that's fine. Germ, you can think Haney's gonna win, but still root for Loma. That's okay. Join me. I will accept you just the way
No,
you are,
yes,
bro.
yeah. I'm rooting for Lomachenko.
Okay.
I just don't see. I
Yeah.
just Lomachenko would have to turn back the clock and give us a vintage Lomachenko performance, which could happen. It very well could.
Hey man, Mayweather did it for a long time. I'm just not, even when he got older.
Yeah, but Mayweather never fought a guy like Haney. Mayweather always
Hey, Haney looks like a mummy walking around for this fight trying to make 135, dude.
he does. He does look
He looks
super.
terrible. He
He
looks like
looks.
Connor when he was trying to make 145 the last couple
Yeah,
fights.
yeah.
So
He
I'm
looks.
banking on that. I'm banking that Haney's just too drained and he's at the end of the line 135, and that Loma will have some of those like Mayweather genes in him where it's like I'm gonna get the longevity and my boxing ability will be enough to hold these young bucks at bay.
And
I'm
the
praying. I'm praying. That's it.
one of the things that's interesting too is the weigh-in is at 9 a.m. So that's a huge advantage for Haney. Haney's
Oh,
gonna be able
is it 9 a.m. like on Friday? Like the
Friday,
right?
Friday 9 a.m.
Oh,
And so Haney's gonna have like a day and two, like and a half, pretty much, to replenish and rehydrate. That's a huge advantage for Haney to be able to get the weigh-in done early. So we'll see if that plays any role
Yeah.
in any of this. But that when I saw that, I was like, oh wow, that's huge,
Yeah.
huge. Why would they even agree to something like that? That makes no sense.
Yeah. Okay, so has Haney said like he's doing 142 or like where is he at with that? Because
I
the weight
feel
cut looks hard.
I feel like the natural thing for him to do is move up, right? There's
Yeah.
no
So okay, so here's where I'm at with this. Like bear with me here. Haney moves up because the weight cut is getting hard,
yeah.
right? So he's at 140.
Hmm.
Again, all these dogs at 140, right? All these tough fighters. Is the fight at 135 Shakur and Tank? Is that like
Yeah, I think that's the fight I want to see.
yeah.
I don't know if Tank does that.
I think he wants that fight.
Yeah,
I
but I
saw I
mean,
saw a pod. I know what you mean. Like if he wants it right away, but
yeah, no, but not only that, but the Mayweather people are in a different. Those guys operate very differently.
yeah, they're on different wavelengths. Yeah,
So I don't know if that happens.
yeah.
I don't know if they give him the fight, and I think that's a
That's a tough fight for Tank.
oh yeah, because
Yeah,
Stevenson
he
is
really is the whole package.
yeah. So I don't know if that would be an amazing fight. And what Haney said today, and I loved it because he's right, and he was talking about how the reason why a lot of these dudes don't want to fight each other is because they don't want to lose the zero, and I think it's one of those things that has ruined the game. And this is what Haney was saying, that it's ruined the game because it limits the fights because guys are not interested in fighting; they're interested in guarding the zero, which is something you and I have talked about a
Yeah,
lot. Um, and yeah, I think that's the way. I think that's very true, and I think that's. I hope it. I hope that's not the case, but I don't trust anything that comes from PBC or the Mayweather camp. I don't trust him to make a fight that's worth it and a fight that's good. We saw how long we had to wait to get this Garcia and Tank fight, um,
yeah,
when it should have been done a year ago or so.
yeah, yeah. Man,
So that's why I'm not so optimistic on that.
yeah, yeah. Ah, yeah. I hope Loma wins.
Yeah. Um. Anything else? Anything else that we might have missed in the boxing world?
Oh, Mungia, let's
Mungia.
go.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
Mungia.
yeah. I really hope, and I made this comparison, but I hope it's not the case.
Yeah.
Um, Zurdo Ramirez, right?
Yeah.
You know, the I the, you know the Mexican fighters, we have a formula, and it looks good on paper, right? But even guys like Chavez would do this, and if anyone wants to disagree, fight me, catch me outside. If you look at Chavez's record, his resume,
Yeah.
in between all the big fights he had, there's a ton of crappy fights. There's a ton of cab drivers. There's a ton of guys that are just, because it makes you look good, right?
Yeah.
So Canelo too, for example. Canelo has a couple tune-ups thrown in there in between big fights, Yildirim, Rocky Fielding, you know.
For sure.
So, but
Everybody
like I
has
said,
them.
yeah, we, but and so Surdo, Surdo didn't have all the big fights, but he was stacking them fights. And then once he fought Bivol, he got exposed, and it's like, and now it's like, damn, does this guy even want to fight? Like he couldn't even make weight. I don't know what's going on with him.
Yeah.
So you have that guy, right? And a few pods ago, you were worried about Mungia, and you were like, I don't know if this is the guy, man. I don't know if I like him or dislike him. And then he fought
James
he's had his
Rosado.
test. He fought Osado, but even before
Yeah.
that, when he fought Liam Smith, we're like, okay,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
showing some promise. Then he fought Osado. Okay, there were a couple fights in between there where he didn't look fantastic, and the guys
Right.
weren't great fighters.
Yeah.
And he's had a few fights after Rosado where he looked questionable. Here we are yet again. This is the next milestone in his career. Derevyanchenko, solid, tough fighter. You could argue this guy beat Triple G a few years ago.
Hmm.
So the point I'm trying to make is I hope that Mungia doesn't turn out to be like Zurdo, where he's just stacking up some nice fights, the occasional bigger fight, and then once he comes up to an actual big test, he crumbles and he just folds into the fray. I hope that's not the case with him. I'm rooting for this guy. I want him to have a good career. I don't know, and I highly doubt that he's going to be someone like a Canelo, but any Mexican fighters that shows promise, and you're out here, you're fighting fights, you're fighting some bigger guys, I'll be in your corner, bro. It looks like he likes to fight, you know. So that's where I'm at with that. I hope the formula doesn't like fail him, and I hope he's as legit as he can be, you know,
Yeah.
and that he does well. That's it. That's okay. Go ahead, Jerm.
I wanna. I second everything you're saying. I want to believe that. I want all that to be true. I'm gonna wait and see because I don't know. He's so unpredictable, and
Yeah,
he has De La Hoya representing him, which is a
get out of there,
mess.
bro. Get out of there. Yeah,
Um, I don't know. I don't even know what to believe. I don't know what to believe in when it comes to Mujia, whether he's legit, whether he's totally a promotion creation. I don't know. I think that's frustrating because I want to back him. I want to be like, hey, Mujia's another young Mexican guy, and I just don't know. They refuse to showcase him, and I think he's fought enough guys already where he should be fighting the top dudes at 154. He should have already
or
gotten that
160, 160,
160.
160.
Sorry, 160.
Maybe even 168, because he
He
also, the last time he weighed in 160, he did not look like, he almost passed out a couple
right.
times.
He should,
So
he should already been fighting Charlos and the Charlo
yeah,
brothers and all that. So I don't know. I guess we'll know more about his skills June 10th, but I'm more interested to see. Okay, what do you do after this fight? Obviously, what do you
right.
do? This is obviously contingent on if he wins. But if he wins, who do you fight after that? Because if he fights another random guy, then I'll be out. I'll
Like,
be
bro, what are you
done.
doing? Yeah,
Yeah, because I thought after the Rosado fight, I thought he was gonna continue to elevate, and I thought he was gonna continue to challenge himself because that was a really good challenge for him, and he looked really good in that fight. And I thought he was gonna build on that challenge, and he didn't. And so if he doesn't build on the challenge after this fight, then I think we're looking at a Surdo, another Surdo.
yeah, yeah,
Because eventually
yeah.
you have to stack those up too. You have to stack up the challenges and you have to fight the guys that are tougher and that makes
That are
us
gonna
think
push you.
like
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't know, man, this fight's pretty tough. And he just hasn't had enough of those consecutively to make us a believer. or to make me a
Yeah.
believer.
Yeah. No, no, you're right. You're right. I agree. It's like, dude, I want to back you, man, but you gotta show me. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, man, fight a Charlo, either one of them, or fight Boo Boo,
Hmm.
yeah, Darrell 168. I don't know, like whatever you got to do to feel comfortable at a weight you like. I mean, just fight someone tough, and échale ganas, man. Come on, we're trying to come out to support you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Um, how do you feel about uh Francis and Ghana?
Oh man. Okay. So this if I may, as far as the comparison goes, I think this is a huge deal because it's not like Francis left the UFC like he left on top. Like he was the guy, scary fighter, power, exciting to watch,
Yeah.
and he's gone. He left the organization. Boom, he signed with someone else. This is like the equivalent of like, gosh, who's a guy I can use? Like hypothetically speaking, Tom Brady at his peak decides, you
Hmm.
know what? Screw the NFL. I'm leaving the NFL, and someone else has started another league. And like, when he's still a good player, he's thinking, I'm gonna go to this league and I'm gonna make it happen here.
Yeah.
And you still have all these other guys, and it's kind of different because with combat sports, you fight the guy directly, and in football, you don't. But still, you know what I mean? It's like you still have a lot of clout and a lot of talent and things to show, and you've gone to another organization.
Mm.
And so it's a unique spot. If Francis was a lot older and on his way out, as far as like just declining with his age, the speed wasn't there and the power wasn't there, that'd be a different story. But the
Right.
fact that he left on top and he still has like I would say a lot left in the tank, and he's with another organization in MMA, um, that's huge, man. I'm excited to see what he does. And sure, I mean, I hope it doesn't, but it might go terribly, and by terribly I mean like he could just steamroll through anybody in that league. I don't know how the league works. I was reading about it, and I guess the PFL does. They have like a regular season for fighting, then they have like a postseason. It's very different from the UFC. It's a whole
Oh, so
thing.
it's okay.
Yeah, and also the division that he's in, it's called the super fight division, and I mean I'm sure weight will come into it, but it's a division where like they just make like cash cow fights, like really really big fights, like prize fighting,
Mm,
basically.
okay.
It's not like the heavyweight division of the PFL. It's just called the super fight division, where they can make a big fight happen with whoever they want, I guess.
Right.
At the same time, you have John Jones coming off his victory against Cyril Gahn, and they were beefing on Twitter, talking smack, and it's like, guys, shut up, or make the fighter shut up. Like, just I don't know how it would work. I don't know what Dana would have to do, or if it'll ever happen. But if you guys aren't gonna fight, I don't want to see you guys on Twitter talking smack about this and that. So yeah, good for Francis, man. He got a good deal. I also think he was signed to the um some kind of board for the PFL where he can vouch for fighters as far as like pay, insurance, like an advocacy kind of thing.
Okay.
So good for him, because that was one of the main reasons why he left the UFC. Like they offered him a lot of money, but they didn't want to negotiate on any of their terms as far as like taking care of fighters with insurance and guarantees for other guys, not just himself, but
Right.
he was looking out for other guys.
Yeah.
So whatever deal they offered him with the PFL, I mean, I wish you the best, Francis. So yeah,
Yeah. It should be interesting to see if he's able to drive numbers because obviously this is how all of this gets judged by the numbers you bring
Right.
in. And the competition. And I think the good thing the one thing he has going for him is that the heavyweight division in the UFC is really weak right now.
Yeah.
And so it's not like the competition is that much better on that side.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not
And
like he's missing out on anything right now, you know?
yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean, John Jones is a bigger name, but I think he's not a natural heavyweight.
Yeah.
Where of the heavyweights in the UFC or in mixed martial arts, he is the biggest name, and I think that's one thing that the UFC is going to have to address when Francis Ngannou makes his debut, because I'm sure that's going to be a huge number.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So we'll see how all that plays out, because it should be an interesting.
Yeah. It's uncharted
Interesting
because
weekend.
the sport is so young. This is like an interesting development in the history of the sport as a whole, you know?
Yeah,
Because for a while it was like, oh, the UFC, they have like no one cares about Bellator, no one cares about One or PFL, but now it's like, wait, the baddest heavyweight just
yeah.
went to another organization. Dang, you know, that's huge. So yeah, no, we'll see. Yeah, the numbers. I mean, I'm sure people will want to tune in whenever that fight gets announced, his first one. But okay, did you see that he says he wants to box before he does the PFL thing? The PFL
Oh,
thing
he
is
said that.
scheduled. Yeah, so he said the PFL deal is going to start 2024. And he said before then, he said he wants to box somebody. And he named heavyweight boxing contenders.
That's a mistake. I wouldn't pay to see that, but that's a mistake. He's gonna
I
fight.
wouldn't mind seeing him and Joshua maybe with the state of Joshua's in.
Imagine he beats Joshua. Um, Joshua would have to leave Earth.
Leave Earth. Oh my gosh.
You'd have to ask Elon Musk to make him a spaceship.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a mistake. But I mean, secure the bag, Francis.
Yeah, yeah. Hey man, get it, you know.
So
Exhibition, go ahead.
someone's gonna do that, then go for it.
Yeah.
Maybe he can fight Jake Paul with one hand.
True,
But
true.
that's the handicap. You got to fight with one hand behind your back.
Jake Paul. Oh my gosh, bro. Who? Like,
Or maybe that can be the fight. But that's a mistake. He shouldn't get into boxing,
yeah.
in my humble opinion.
I think did we cover everything? I think we covered everything.
I think that's it. Yeah. I think we went through the whole thing. So recap. Canelo's still gonna be okay. We'll see what he does. You think we're getting Benavides or Bivol? I think we're getting Bivol or Tune Up in September. Ryan, we'll keep monitoring that, but doesn't look good. And we both want Loma to win.
Yeah.
Loma to win on Saturday. So that's where we're at. So big boxing stuff. Excited for what the last part of the year is going to bring. So yeah, David, it's always a pleasure.
Likewise.
We'll talk soon. But for the Arizona podcast, this is German. Enjoy boxing. Enjoy the Haney fight. We'll talk to you later.